are now listening to the War Report Podcast Network.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the College Loop Pregame Show. There we go. I got a little dyslexic for a second. I'm Dylan Larck, AUBURN'S on Twitter/X, and I'm here joined today by College Loop contributor and our Geo5 expert, Mr. John Conley, John Lee himself. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Dylan. I'm doing great. I'm super excited to be here. I love coming on the show. You know this anytime. Love breaking down some good ball, and I'm excited for this game.
Yeah, good ball is one way to call it, as Auburn enters their annual cupcake week right before the Iron Bowl. So hopefully a missed opportunity for a overlooked game, trying to look past who you're playing on Saturday to look towards Alabama coming up in just a week now, unless you're watching this on Friday, then 8 days. So as you're hating on your family for being Alabama fans, you can't forget that we're also going to be playing Mexico State, who is a nice little 8-3 and potential conference champs in the CUSA. And John, I know you did some research on New Mexico State, so I'm gonna leave you this opportunity to kind of have your moment about the Aggies of New Mexico State.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about a cupcake game, and that's what this game is supposed to be, and it's what it's scheduled out to be. But it is one of the situations where you can't overlook the team that's in front of you. I think I mentioned this actually during the preseason preview of this school, was like, you can't let this team sneak up on you, because there is an elephant in the room coming up in 2 weeks from now. And you just can't let this team sneak up on you, especially with the way that they play offense. They play a really, really good brand of just creative runs. They're going to run it down your throat. They're going to run it out and about. They have a ton of guys that will tote the rock, and they don't turn the ball over either. So this is a game. Sorry. This is a game where you can really, if you're not careful, I'm not going to say you're going to lose this game, but it could creep up on you and cause some problems going into the Iron Bowl.
Yeah, you definitely don't want that to happen, especially because you're playing with a lot of confidence right now. Peyton Thorne has been playing the best ball he's played all year. Jarquez Hunter has finally found a groove in this offense. 3 straight 100-yard games by Jarquez Hunter, and you picked up the slack from the Vanderbilt game where you had 7 drops and finally kind of lowered it down to I think only 2 versus Arkansas. But you put up the best offensive performance you have since 2017 in an away SEC environment, and you just can't let the confidence build up in your head. You have to look at New Mexico State as your next opponent. Don't care who is next. New Mexico State is who you got to worry about right now, and especially it helps that Diego Pavia isn't fully healthy. That does help out.
Yeah. As far as we can tell, he might not play, and if he doesn't play, then I don't see a world in which this game, I don't even think it could be remotely close. Eli Stowers is coming in to be their backup, and he's kind of been a Swiss Army knife for them. He's played tight end, running back, strong safety, whatever you need from him, he'll do. But I just think this team is so reliant on Pavia, not just to throw, but to pass or to run as well. They're so two-dimensional with him. And so if you don't have that guy with you on offense, it could be a very, very long night for these Aggies team.
And especially if you're looking at the fact that Eli Stowers has been playing he has been your by air, land, or sea player. He's 3rd on the team in reception and receiving yards, and is also backup quarterback, and is also the 5th leading rusher on the team. He's just been playing all over the place, and he also has a tackle. So I believe you told me he played safety for a little bit.
Yeah, he's played all over the ball. Taysom Hill, Jabril Peppers, we've seen this story before plenty of times, but him having to actually be the quarterback for this team, if Pavia is not there and ready to go, this could be I still think it could be a long night, even with Pavia, but it could be before we even start, like today, they would have lost, like they're losing this game already, Oh
yeah. And I understand if he is too hard to play, you kind of don't want to play Pavia as Mexico State's coach, because you kind of want to play that next game, and then you want to get into the conference championship and take down Liberty, who is also rolling through their season. But I would also really like it if Pavia did play, because I've been saying it all week. I think Pavia gives you your best chance to prepare for a Jalen Milroe type quarterback. He's not as fast, and I don't want to say it, but he's not as good as Jalen Milroe has been playing. But it'd be a great warm up to the real thing. And that's why I hope he does play. I hope they want that competitive edge, because I feel like if you're not playing him, you're just playing to lose. It's like you're just kind of chalking it up no matter what. But we've seen teams like this be giant killers before. So if you want to go out guns a-blazing, I mean, go for it. But I just don't think Eli Stowers is going to be your guy. And if all Auburn's got to do is just lock down Jonathan Brady and Trent Hudson in that passing game, you have one guy in Jonathan Brady who's going to be your speed threat. He's going to be running straight down the field, trying to burn you, and then Trent Hudson is going to go right over to you. But without Diego Pavia, I don't know how likely it is for those two to just get a lot of targets.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. That's one thing that they're going to have to figure out soon is that if they don't have Pavia, you got to figure out how can we tailor this offense to Stowers' strengths, which his strength is that he can move. He is an athlete. We see it not just at the quarterback position, but all over the field. And one thing that helps for them is they have a stable of running backs. As much as we talk about the Auburn group here with Hunter and Battie and who am I thinking? Cobb, Jeremiah Cobb and Alston. And this Aggies team is very similar when it comes to Star Thomas and Monte Watkins and Jamani Jones. These are guys that the three of them have a combined 1,200, close to 1,300 rushing yards. So they're powerful. And their leading rusher is Pavia, just because that dual threat ability, but they can beat you in all sorts of ways with their creative running ability. It's crazy.
A true definition of a dual threat quarterback is Diego Pavia, throwing for 2,200 already on the year, 19 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and also rushing for 703 yards and 5 touchdowns on the ground as well for him. Just an all-around great season for a team that doesn't really get the attention that I feel like some of these CUSA teams just don't get the attention they deserve.
Yeah.
And I mean, one might say a Sunbelt team doesn't really get the attention it deserves from the overarching NCAA, who are not on my good side right now. And you're going to get that in a second. If you can't tell, that's right.
Oh, goodness.
Because I am fuming about that if you cannot tell. But going to this game, Auburn just has a lot of things defensively they can prepare for. You're looking at trying to make sure your defensive line continues this peak they've been getting at. When you peak, you don't want to just go up and go straight down. You want to go up and then continue it, make it a plateau, if you will. Geography lesson for everybody out there. So go up and flatten out up there. So you're at least playing at your highest level as much as you possibly can. And Jalen McLeod did that last week against a not very good Arkansas offensive line, but got 3 sacks, 4 TFLs, and 9 tackles for Jalen McLeod. And you're still looking at Marcus Harris and Jason Jones and Keldrick Falk, who are all having pretty good seasons. Marcus Harris especially. And with Eli Stowers, then you have a freshman quarterback who has a nice little $250,000 richer than he was because he got signed to that awesome A&M recruiting class that all transferred out. I think this game's going to play heavy into Auburn's favor with that front seven. I think without your leader, this is me operating under the assumption that Pavia might not be playing. I mean, this game could get ugly fast because I don't know if Eli Stowers can power through this Auburn defense.
Yeah, no, this is for Auburn. They're peaking at the exact right time. You don't want to be a team that starts off super hot and falls later on in the season. If you're going to be the team that you are, that Auburn is, and you're going to finish with, 7, maybe 8 wins, give or take, you don't want 5 to be in the first 6 weeks and then you just lose, 6 of your last 7, however many it is to finish off the season. They're playing the exact right way and peaking at the exact right time going into this game where they can just keep that going, get that momentum in, do things in the first half that they want to do. And then the second half, depending on how it goes, put your backups in, let them get some playing time, let them get that experience. But then that way you have so much momentum and so much energy and so much rolling into when you go to Alabama. So for this game, it's really just all about don't slow down. If you're Auburn on offense, on defense, special teams, whatever it is, you just can't slow down. Because if you start to slow down, that's when things can start to cause some concern going into next week.
Yeah, I mean, even to move over to the other side of the ball, I was going to bring up the special teams for a second because this Auburn special teams unit has not slowed down all year. I mean, Alex McPherson, a solid 11 for 11 on the year. It's what you want to see from your kicker. But offensively, it's awesome watching this Auburn offense finally hit their high points, finally find out what they can be, what they need to be, and what they will be in the future with or without, some of the players who might be transferring out. But overall, if Peyton Thorne can come out and kind of light it up a little bit, and not too long because you don't want to risk any kind of injuries whatsoever. Let Jarquez Hunter, let Brian Battie, Damari Alston, Jeremiah Cobb, let those 4 backs kind of take the bulk of the plays, kind of rest up Peyton Thorne's arm, but have him play enough to where he's not getting out of the groove.
Yeah, no, this is what I would want to see is like a t-shirt and hat game going into halftime for Peyton Thorne. I want Peyton Thorne to leave this game the most confident he's felt all season because he's going to be probably one of the biggest factors in this Iron Bowl game is how well as he plays. Is he going to be the Peyton Thorne that we've seen for the past 3 weeks, or is it going to be the Peyton Thorne that we saw for the first 4, 5, 6 weeks of the season? So for him, like I don't want to see him in the second half if the first half he had, if he was 15 for 17 for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns, like if that's what he was in the first half, I don't need to see anything else again because I want him to leave that half as confident as he can be. Because I think this Iron Bowl is going to be so much of how much momentum is Auburn going to have going into that game. And so I want to see a really confident game from Peyton Thorne where he goes and he does his job and he leaves early just feeling great about what he left on the field.
Yeah, and I would especially like it in the second half. If Auburn is up by a substantial amount, I wouldn't like them to not start burning clock until like the fourth quarter, just to kind of keep the momentum going all the way all the way through. Because I mean, the fourth quarter you're trying to end the game no matter what. But third quarter, I mean, don't have Peyton Thorne in if you're up by 30, 40 at that point. Have like Robbie in to kind of run the ball, run the RPO a little bit, still try to put up points. But be willing to settle for field goals whenever you can, just to get more confidence. And because kicking is very important in the Iron Bowl. If you're not aware, if you don't have the leg at kicker, things happen to you that kind of cost you games. And
that is true.
I'm just saying. And it's also going to help if Auburn can keep these wide receivers from dropping passes. And I know that's not me saying Hugh Freeze can stop that, or no one at Auburn can really stop that except for the people who were getting the ball thrown to him. Rivaldo Fairweather, a couple weeks ago, he had some very bad drops against Vanderbilt. I know Camden Brown had some bad drops against Arkansas. I mean, it was just drop city in Nashville, just going back that far. Auburn needs to establish a good rhythm through the passing game, at least through the first part of this game. And I don't do what you did against Samford, where you were just throwing the ball to throw the ball, and you were forcing passes, and you were just doing all this silly stuff. And Peyton Thorne threw 2 interceptions versus Samford. Play smart football. Peyton Thorne isn't going to consistently be your 30 passes a game quarterback. We saw that last week with Arkansas. He didn't need to do that to win the game by 38. He threw the ball 20 times, completed 12 passes, threw 2 touchdowns, also ran the ball very well. That's what Peyton Thorne is going to bring to this offense, and that's what you need to show again, because now you have that identity that you were wanting to rock with throughout these last few games on the schedule, and especially whenever you're playing a defense like Alabama's in 2 weeks, where you are going to be playing against a balanced defense. You're not going to be able just to hand the ball off 30 times a game. You're not going to be able to throw the ball 30 times a game. You're going to have to find a balanced attack to get at that. And you're going to have to use this game right here. Don't overlook this game. You need this game to prepare for Alabama. This is a rep game. You need this game to prepare for Alabama. And it's going to sit on the shoulders of the 2 players who are playing the hottest right now, and that's Peyton Thorne and Jarquez Hunter.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I love that you brought back the Samford game because I remember watching that Samford game and just thinking there were so many just ridiculous plays from Peyton Thorne. Now, obviously, a lot has changed since then, whether it's play calling or whatever it may be. There's been a lot of changes since then, but what you don't want is for Peyton Thorne to get behind himself and make stupid mistakes because you're playing a lesser opponent. Because right now, yes, they're a lesser opponent. They have more wins than you. I understand that it's a different conference. They're a different level of competition, but they're playing at a high level. They're going to play for a conference championship. So they're playing at a good level. The one thing about their defense, I'll say, is they don't get takeaways. They have 4 picks all season. They have 5 fumbled recoveries all year. So that's their weak spot on their defense. Don't make it a strength for them this week. Don't force stupid throws that can turn into picks, right? Just play clean, smart football that ultimately just keeps your team rolling and moving. Against this team, you don't need these crazy, 60-yard bombs or 40-yard chunk plays. You can beat them. I saw it against Western Kentucky this past week. You can beat them just first, second down, just constant little 4-yard runs and little out and just small little things that can just keep it just going and going and going and wear them out that way. Because they rush 4. That's one thing I'll say is they love to rush 4. And sometimes they can get some pressure on it, but a lot of times they struggle a good little bit. And so for this Auburn team, like you have bigger guys than they do, right? Play big boy football. Just play a consistent type of offense that is clean. Don't make stupid penalties. Don't get behind yourself, and just come out of this game just feeling good about yourself on all 3 phases.
Yeah, I mean, just turnovers in general. If Auburn can keep the turnovers to a minimum, because not a minimum. If Auburn can just have 0 turnovers, because I'm not too sure if Auburn's gone a complete game without having a single turnover. And I say that not knowing, just strictly because of the Samford game. That's what worries me. But let's see. I believe so. Peyton Thorne has had 4 games all year where he's not thrown a single interception. That was Mississippi State, LSU, Texas A&M, and UMass. And I'll give him some leeway with the Georgia game because he was trying to make a play. So, yeah. But not a lot of games that you can go off of that Auburn just has not turned over the ball. And with the defense who doesn't force them, it's going to be very important that you keep it that way, especially because turnovers hurt momentum. And if you throw a turnover against a lesser team, it's going to do nothing but hurt you.
Yeah, this is a game where Peyton does not need to play hero ball. He doesn't need to be the hero and make some stupid scramble out and try to make a play that turns into a pick, because that's what happened in his first pick against Samford. He tried to scramble out. I think it was like a 3rd down or 2nd down or something like that, and he threw it to a linebacker in the end zone. It was a red zone play. That is something where, hey, you just take the points. You know who you are. You know who they are. You know that you can win this game handedly. You don't need to try to play hero ball for Samford. You don't need to try to play hero ball for this New Mexico State team. So if you're Peyton Thorne, if you're Montgomery and you're Hugh Freeze, just say, hey, we don't need you to be a superhero today. We just need you to do your job and get it done the right way.
Even if it's like 7 for 9 for like 95 yards and a touchdown with 5 carries for 40 yards and a touchdown, and then just pull him out. Do enough to where he is not turning over the ball, where he's getting consistent. He's keeping that moxie that he's had. Because, I mean, nothing brings more moxie than that first touchdown he got against Arkansas, where he just trucked that one Arkansas defender and then stared him down as he crossed the end zone. That's probably my favorite. If I had to rank plays that have happened all year, that's going to be one of my favorite. Yeah, because that proved to me that Peyton Thorne was improving in a good way. Which I don't think you can improve in a bad way. But with that, John, you ready to make your prediction for this game?
I am. I think this is going to be if Diego Pavia doesn't play, I mean, this game's going to be over before it even starts. I'm pretty sure right now Auburn would be up 14-0 before we even have kickoff. But with that, I have 48-10. I think it could be something where they score 35 very quickly, at least by, I'd say, halfway through the 3rd quarter. They're already up by 30 plus, and then you get a 4th quarter touchdown here. Garbage time touchdown the 4th quarter for them. So I'm going to go 48-10 Auburn. It's kind of
I like it. Same score that they got against Arkansas.
Yeah, pretty much.
Honestly, I almost predicted that as well. I think this is going to be a huge pickup point to try to show how much this offense can do and show off how much his defense can. And again, if we're going to go off the fact that Pavia might not play, I think you're going to find not a lot of points here. I think I'm going to go with a nice 48-6 for Auburn. I think New Mexico State gets like 2 field goals, which isn't garbage time points happen. Yeah, I'm going to go 48-6. I think that's going to be a nice little segue into the Iron Bowl next week.
For sure.
With the season nearing its end in just 2 weeks, unless you have a bowl game like Auburn does and Georgia Southern does.
That's right.
How's it got you feeling?
It's got me feeling good. You know, we're doing a little bit of a later recording as this is happening, so I'm feeling a little tired. I'm feeling a little loopy.
Feeling loopy, and people could go buy a certain article of clothing that could really show off that emotion. And I think actually, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you're wearing one right now. Could that be?
Yeah, you don't need to hear it from Dylan or from Tarr or from Daniel about how awesome the shirt is. You can hear it from your favorite group of 5 analysts, right? And I'm wearing it. It's awesome. I got the Navy Feeling Loopy shirt. It's awesome. I love it. It's super comfortable. I mean, they really, really hit it home whenever they talk about it. There's no better person to speak on it than someone who's currently wearing it. And it's great. I love it. I really enjoy it. My wife really enjoys it as well. So just to let you guys know, but no, it's a very comfortable shirt. I really enjoy it. And so, yeah, I mean, for sure, definitely get the Feeling Loopy shirt.
And with that, I mean, you look at that on the screen right now. There. Your 3 colorways that are up here. I missed out on the 2 of them because they're basically the same colors, just for the pattern on them. So you got 5 colorways for the Feeling Loopy t-shirt on the warreport.com. Go to the shop. It's right there on the first page, so you can't miss it. Shirt's the most comfortable shirt you're ever going to wear. And, of course, the holiday season is almost upon us. It's the day after Thanksgiving is whenever you can start singing your Christmas carols and start decorating for Christmas and doing all this other stuff for Christmas. Don't forget Thanksgiving is the football holiday, so we must celebrate that first and then get into Christmas. But, of course, it's the perfect gift to give for your family. If you buy it now, it'll be here in time for Christmas.
That's right.
So go ahead and get it. You can get one for every member of your family. They're all going to love it. You have a nice little matching photo to wear with your family for the Christmas cards. You got all that stuff. And, of course, whenever you get that shirt, throw it up on social media, whether that be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can even email it to us at thecollegeloop1@gmail.com. And when you do, put hashtag Feeling Loopy. That way we just know how you're feeling whenever you're wearing that shirt, of course. And, of course, with that, I am ready to make my weekly pick'ems. And here at the College Loop, we like to keep you inside the loop of Auburn athletics. But, of course, every now and again, we like to take a little glance on what's going on outside of the loop. And Mr. 7-3, no more, here to see if your streak can be kept alive. I think
right.
Last time you finished 8-2 was the last time you made your predictions?
No, I was 6-4 and I got to 7-3.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
So now you're Mr. 7-3.
Yes, I need to get to 8-2.
Show that steady improvement that you're wanting to see from a rebuild.
That's right.
And going to start off with 11 a.m. kick, a game that could, I don't think it's going to really help decide who's going to go to the ACC championship, but could play a pivotal factor in how comfortable you would be in Louisville going into that game versus Florida State. That's going to be number 10 Louisville, 2-point favorite as they travel to Hard Rock Stadium to play the Miami Hurricanes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Louisville here, but Miami's been such a weird team all season. Like, this could easily be a game that Miami wins by like 7 off of some stupid play or something. They're gonna play. It's at Hard Rock Stadium, which means it will be a Louisville home game. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Louisville here. I think they're gonna try to close it out, and then we'll see what happens in the ACC championship game. That game could just be wild.
Yeah, and I like the spread here. And actually, I'm looking at the other spreads now as this comes out. The line is now Miami -1. So this game is going to be close. I do think, you know what? I'm going to get a little weird. I think Miami pulls out the upset here.
I don't want my wallet anywhere near this game whatsoever.
Yeah, I do not either. But I'm going to be going Miami. I'm very high on Miami because I'm, stupid like that. So, I mean, I can't go against the team I've been high on for the past 2 years since they got Mario Cristobal. Yeah. So, going to go rock with Miami there. And John, I know you love your Georgia Southern Eagles. Is it just Eagles or the Golden Eagles?
It's just Eagles.
Boston College is what I'm thinking of. But, I know how much your second favorite team resides in Boone, North Carolina. So I know who you're going to go with here because of your favorite team. But the App State Mountaineers are going to travel for College Game Day to Harrisonburg, Virginia, to play the James Madison Dukes, who are now a 9-point favorite. So all these bets are off off the radar right now. But yeah.
Listen, I will say this: the 9-point, the fact that the spread is going down, I think should be in consideration because App State is playing really well. Their record is, I think, 6-4, but they've won, I think, 4 of their last 5, something like that.
Three of the last 4.
3 of the last 4. They're playing very well. They're playing really, really good football right now. But this James Madison team is so good, and it's at home. There's a lot of energy. For those of you who have not, if you haven't heard yet, their NCAA waiver was it waived? It not waived. It was rejected.
Yep.
So they will not be playing in a conference championship game. Still could potentially play in the postseason with the weird how the bowl games, and if there's not enough bowl eligible teams, they could find a way to make it in. They're not playing for a conference championship game, and I think this would just be a big staple on national television for the NCAA. So you're going to go ahead and give me the Dukes here.
Yeah, I'm also going to be rocking with the Dukes. If you know me, then you know how much I love the James Madison Dukes and how good they have been since they entered into the FBS. And it just sucks so much that the NCAA has just screwed them over so much that they're the best team in the Sun Belt by a mile. Mm-hmm. And they're not going to prove it, and they're not going to get a ring because the NCAA has a stupid rule that is affecting not just James Madison, but also Jacksonville State as well, who also resides in Alabama, because they've been playing very good. And I mean, they played it close against South Carolina. And
this is a situation where if this, it won't happen next year, at least for James Madison, because their waiver will be gone and they'll be able to compete in postseason play. But if this was happening in next year's format with the playoffs, this could be them going to the playoffs or not. Like, this is not just a postseason play. This is them at 9-10-0, the chance to go to the college football playoff, and the NCAA would say, no, you haven't earned the transition period yet. Like, this is just crazy. I think it helps them out, the fact that there are a couple other schools that are, because I think Sam Houston also put in a waiver, and it's like, well, they're clearly not playing well. So it's been easy enough for the NCAA to reject it, but you have to look at the resume. You have to look at everything they've done. It's like they don't need this waiver. They don't need this free year or whatever. They can compete right now. And if this was next season where there was a playoff spot on the line, there would be absolute chaos.
Lawsuits would ensue, I believe, because that's just how much they're getting screwed out by the NCAA, who are just an absolute joke of an organization. And they just constantly do nothing but prove that statement more and more right. Every year they prove that statement right. And it's just baffling to me that they keep doing that. And now to throw it over to the Pac-12, we got the Utah Utes, number 22 team in the country, traveling to Tucson, Arizona, taking the number 17 Arizona Wildcats. And the spread's also wrong. It was Utah -1. Now it's Arizona -1.
Yeah, which I mean that really just means toss up. Again, this is one of those games you want to keep your wallet away from. You do not want to put any money on this game. But with that, I think Utah's going to have a great bounce back. I think this team just plays so scrappy, and they respond well to losses. So to me, I think it's an easy pick. I'm going to go with the Utes here.
Yeah, and it helps that Arizona also struggled last week versus Colorado, and they had a couple of close matches. This Arizona team is very, very good. And Jed Fish at Arizona definitely has to keep an eye out for any jobs that might be coming his way, because people are going to be offering him, because Arizona has turned into a very good team in just 1 year. But it's like Miami when it comes to this. I find it very hard to pick against a team that I really like watching play. Utah, the only team in the Pac-12 that actually likes to play defense, but they also forget they also have to play offense a little bit. I think this game's going to come down to the wire, like the Miami, Louisiana. I put UL. So I confused myself. Louisville game. I'm going to rock with the Utes as well. I think that Bryson Barnes has been playing very good football. He's 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, but I think he's done just enough to kind of prove that Utah kind of deserves their ranking. And their defense travels very well. Utah is not afraid. Kyle Whittingham is a great coach.
He's a fantastic coach.
I think he does not get the love that he so deserves. I'm going to rock with the Utes here, but Arizona, very, very sneaky good team that people should worry about if they ever play them. Now to the CBS game of the week. And this game, actually, the spread for this one has not changed for once. As the Georgia Bulldogs, the number one team in the country, are going to travel to Knoxville, Tennessee to take on the 18, potentially overrated Tennessee Volunteers at 2:30.
Weird things happen when Georgia goes to Neyland, but dropping one here is not one of them. So I think this is going to be a very convincing Georgia win against this Josh Heupel squad.
Yeah, I'm also going to rock that as well. I think Georgia's going to cover this game. They played their best brand of football last week versus Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Bowers was in the game, was barely even a factor, and they still put up 50 points, and Ole Miss just had nothing to say about it. Except they had a lot of things to say about it because they said that, well, we made it because Georgia actually decided they wanted to play football against us. Dude, they put up 50 on you. Okay, cool. Good for you, man. Yeah, Georgia's going to win this game by a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Georgia's gonna struggle over the next 2 weeks. Sorry, Tarr, if you're watching this. Tech does not stand a chance, and I feel like you understand that sentiment. But yeah, Georgia covers.
Yep.
I throw it back to the ACC as the number 20 North Carolina Tar Heels travel to Clemson, South Carolina, to take on a now 2-game win streak led, Dabo Sweeney led Clemson Tigers, who this spread also did not change. 7.5-point favorite for Clemson Tigers.
Yeah, this one I've had such a hard time with because I feel like Drake May and this North Carolina squad can kind of get things rolling here to close out this season, but I also have no faith in them. I also have no faith that Dabo Sweeney can, get 3 wins in a row. We haven't really seen it yet this year. It's just been so up and down, both these teams. I'm going to go with UNC, but it's going to be a really weird football game.
Yeah, I've been looking at this game because that Notre Dame game from 2 weeks ago really kind of stands out to me.
Mm-hmm.
A game where Notre Dame had a lot of chances to win that game, but their offense just could not get it done. But now you're looking at UNC, who has one of the best quarterbacks in the country. And offense has been very lights out. They have a 3,000-yard passer with Drake May. They have a 1,200-yard rusher with Hampton. I'm also going to go with UNC here. I think that they kind of prove that this offense is kind of, should be respected, and that Clemson just continues to fall. Clemson might be good next year, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Transfer portal does kind of help out your teams a little bit. And now to move back over to the Pac-12, just going coast to coast on this prediction. UCLA and their potential last game of the Chip Kelly era for UCLA before they go to the Big 12 plays the USC Trojans, who are a 6-point favorite. And both these teams are on a 2-game losing streak.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy when next year this is going to be the part of the slate of the Big Ten rivalry week for these two teams in Los Angeles, California. But I'm going to go with a bounce-back performance from USC. They've been craving something like that ever since the Utah game, and you see what they did with Notre Dame, and just they've been playing so rough these past 5 weeks. Even their win against Cal, I mean, it was a 2-point win or 1-point win. Yeah, 50-49. And so they need something bad. And I think this is going to be a game where Caleb Williams reminds everyone who he is and kind of shows the world like, hey, I am still Caleb Williams. I am still the current Heisman winner. And so I think that this game could be close, especially if they just find, any sign of life on offense for UCLA to put up points. I mean, this could be a shootout. Final score could be 48-52. But I'm gonna roll with USC here.
Yeah, this game, let's see, the over-under is 65.5. You can go ahead and bet that over, I believe. I think USC is going to win this game. They have the offense. They put up points even when they lose. Their defense just can't stop anybody. It helps that you're having Caleb Williams versus a true freshman and Dante Moore. And I think that's going to play a big role in this. I'm going to go USC. I think they potentially cover, and they're definitely going to put 70 up in between these two teams because that USC defense can't stop anything. Nothing whatsoever. Because holy crap, it is bad. Now, to throw it from the So we got did the ACC, then we went to the Sun Belt, then we went to the Pac-12, then we went to the SEC, then we went to the ACC, then we went to the Pac-12. Now we're going to go back to the Sun Belt as the Old Dominion Monarchs travel to good old Statesboro, Georgia, to play the Georgia Southern Eagles, who now the spread is now 6.5 in Georgia Southern's favor, as the Georgia Southern Eagles continue their let's say win streak, but they are on a 2-game skid.
2-game skid. This is a huge game for Clay Helton and company. They got to close out with a win here at home to get six home wins this year, go undefeated there. And I think they can do it. I think they've been playing a brand of football that is not their typical brand these past 2 weeks. And part of it is they struggle on the road. I don't know what it is this year. I don't know why it is this year, but they struggle on the road. And I think just getting back home, getting in front of that crazy environment that Paulson Stadium can create. And Old Dominion's been kind of up and down this year. And they had a little shot at one point where they could have competed for the Sun Belt title. I think that's kind of gone now. But I think this should be a game where as long as Davis Brin doesn't make mistakes and Georgia Southern gets the turnovers that they've been known for getting all year, this should be pretty open, closed, shut case for Southern.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with Georgia Southern. I love Old Dominion. Their golden retriever follows me on Twitter. It's my most probably my prettiest looking follower that I have. No offense to anybody out there, but if you haven't seen Hudson, you're missing out. He's a pretty dog. But yeah, I'm gonna rock with Georgia Southern here. I think they get the much needed win before they go and play Coastal Carolina. Did I get that right? Or who's it they play next week?
Old Dominion.
App State. They play App State next week, right?
Georgia Southern plays App State.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
The rivalry week.
Yep. Deeper than hate.
That's what's called, deeper than hate.
It's the deeper than hate rivalry.
That's awesome.
I love it.
There's like a high school rivalry in Alabama that's called like Murder Creek or something. But it's like awesome.
Yeah.
I need to look that up and find that. Now to go to the Big 12 for the first time of this pick'em, as the number 21 Kansas State Wildcats are going to travel to another side of the state, to Lawrence, Kansas, to take on the number 25 ranked Kansas Jayhawks. Kansas State is now, the spread's gone up, actually. Kansas State's now a 9.5 point favorite.
Yeah, and I would love to see Lance Leipold and crew get a nice win here. I think this is their senior night. Yeah, get a nice win here on senior night. And both teams are playing well. If you're Kansas, you did have a kind of you didn't have a great loss there against Texas Tech. You couldn't get anything rolling on offense, but you've had some good wins over the past couple of weeks. But this Kansas State team is playing pretty well right now. I think I'm going to go with the Wildcats here because they still also have a chance too to find themselves potentially the way that things swing. They could find themselves in this Big 12 title game.
Yes, they can, and I think they will, because I'm hanging on by a thread to get at least some of my predictions right so I can hang it over Tarr's head. So I'm also going to be rocking with the Kansas State Wildcats here. I think that Coach Klein has done a great job of building this program back up. Mm-hmm. You lost Deuce Vaughn last year, and now you kind of started off rough in a rough patch, and then you found a way to win. You found an identity on this offense. You kind of rocking a nice old 2-quarterback offensive scheme, and they've been playing their best football yet. And I think there's a good chance Kansas State might find a way to ruin the Big 12's chances of getting to the playoffs. And I love that so much if I'm just proven that much right about the Big 12 champion. Now to go back over to the Pac-12, we have a game I'm surprised did not get the College Game Day experience, as number 5 Washington Huskies, who are still a 1.5 point favorite, as they travel to Corvallis, Oregon, take on the number 11 DJ Uiagalelei led Oregon State Beavers.
I love the way that Oregon State's been playing this whole season, really. I mean, they've responded really well. DJ's been playing out of his mind, just playing really well, responding to the criticism and, his struggles at Clemson. But Michael Penix and company are just rolling. They're playing so well. And the fact that it's 1.5 points, I think is honestly I think it could be, it's not going to be 1.5. I think they're going to win, I would say probably by a touchdown. But I'm going to go with the Huskies here. I love Michael Penix, the way that he's able to sling it and is throwing it around. He's playing fantastic. And I really think it's one of these Pac-12 quarterbacks is going to win the Heisman. whether it's Williams or Bo Nix or Penix. But I definitely expect to see 2, if not all 3 of them, up in New York coming in a few weeks here.
We'll go ahead and warn you, it's not going to be Caleb Williams. I feel like his defense played him out of the contention for it. But definitely Bo Nix and Michael Penix. But here's the thing: Oregon State team, outside of Oregon, is going to be the second most balanced team they've played thus far, and they don't get Oregon State in Seattle. They have to travel to Corvallis. Oregon State plays balanced football. They have a great running back in David Martinez. DJ Ungulale is playing his best brand of football we've seen him play in college football. Found out he was not the problem at Clemson.
Yeah.
He was a star waiting to find the right team, and he's found the right team. I'm actually going to rock with Oregon State Beavers here. I think they're going to get the upset over Washington because that defense is ridiculous. And if this game was in Seattle, I'd go the other way. But this being a home game and it being that close of a spread,
because actually so much stuff up.
Did I read it wrong? Oh, the spread's now Oregon State favored. There we go. So yeah, 1 point favorite. So this game this game is a coin flip of sorts. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be rocking with the Beavers here. So, and last game on the docket is a game where you have 2 5-5 teams waiting to get that last win so they can play one more game before the season ends. And I believe Sicko's committee is calling this the Bowl Eligible Bowl. And I am definitely butchering that in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But if Tarr was here, he would absolutely love it. As the Syracuse Orange travel to Atlanta and good old Bobby Dodd Stadium to play the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, who are a 6.5 point favorite now. And the Jackets had a nice little 2-game win streak over UNC and UVA before Clemson came to the town, or before they went to Clemson. There we go. And Clemson kind of handed it to them. They got a bye week for this game, so I think that helps a lot.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with with Georgia Tech here. I think they've been playing some really good football this year. I think Brent Key is just going to keep this team just trekking in the right direction. I really do. I think next year they're going to be even better than this year. It's a tough game against Clemson that you had, but Clemson seems to be kind of hitting some gears here right now. But I think you can go in here, get a good win against Syracuse, and then prepare for your home game against Georgia. Which, I mean, this Georgia team is right exactly kind of where Auburn is. They're getting hot at the exact right time, especially for them, with what's on the line for them. They're going to probably take care of Tech handedly, but you could have something slip up where it's a little bit closer than you want. But no, I think Tech's going to come in here. I think they're going to get through Syracuse and get that bowl game that they're desperately wanting to get. Yeah,
I believe so too. I got Tech in this one too, just so Tarr can kind of think the Harrison Tarr Bowl is so close to happening as Georgia Tech and Auburn are projected in some places to play each other in their bowl game. I think Tech's going to get their last win of the season here, depending on who they play in the bowl game. If it's Auburn, I'm going to go rock with Auburn there. Spoiler alert for that bowl game. But yeah, I'm going to rock with Tech here because why not?
I've seen some things where they could squeeze if Tech can get this win here, they can squeeze in a Tech Georgia Southern little in-state game, which I've been dying to see for years now, and I'm so ready for it to happen at some point.
They need to flex that game. If as a bowl game or as like an actual like.
Well, they're saying it could be a bowl game. Southern has been dying to try to get it to be a home and home, but I think Tech is just unwilling to go to Statesboro.
That's crazy.
I think that's something that's been talked about numerous times, and part of it is I don't know if we can really pay them what they're asking for to come down to Statesboro, but I also think they're just scared. Just being very straightforward.
You should tweet that at their football team.
I should,
and then start some beef. But
see what happens.
That'll do it for this post-game show. John, I'll let you go ahead. Tell everybody where they can love you, find you on social media.
Awesome. Yeah, you can find me anywhere on social media at JohnLee49, Twitter, X, Instagram, whatever it is. Feel free to hit me up, ask me questions. I love interacting with people. I love interacting with college football fans who are more delusional than they need to be, especially a certain fan base that I have graduated from. But But no, absolutely feel free to hit me up. I love talking to everyone, and I love coming here every single time. So yeah.
Yeah, of course. Always glad to have you. No one else wants to look up more stats about Geo5 teams than you do, and I support that fully because I don't have the time in my day to go look around for New Mexico State stats, but I'm glad you make the time for it as well with you. But of course, I'm Dylan Larck at your boy the tank on Twitter/X. Also come on Instagram as well. I Dylan Larck at DYLANLARCK. Leave your predictions in the comments below for the Auburn New Mexico State game. The closest one gets a nice little shout out on the Tuesday show. So go ahead and try that out. Last week we had 2 winners. Try to, if you see someone else picking your score, kind of change it up a little bit so we can have some parity amongst the predictions, because it was very hard when everyone was doing 40 to 10s or 34s to 27s and all the basic ones that you see all around the place. But of course, follow us right here on at the College Loop. Also leave a like, comment, and subscribe as well. We are getting very close to letting Colin be able to eat again, as he is still dealing with his walking pneumonia and bronchitis. So keep him in your prayers, and maybe send him some food or something, and maybe we can eat behind our backs just to help him out a little bit until y'all get us to 800 subscribers.
And nothing feeds a college student more than some midnight cookout. So certainly send some his way. Just don't let the College Loop know about it.
Yeah, if we see it, we're definitely hit him on the head. And I messed up. 700 subscribers. There we go. 700. Or we're gonna say 100 too. Well, we feed them twice. But of course, if you want to listen to the show, if you're tired of seeing our faces, completely understand. But you also have us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music. I am flubbing every single word I possibly can tonight. Leave 5 stars, leave a smiley face, leave a like, whatever those platforms allow. And of course, all of that being said, this has been the College Loop pregame show for Auburn, New Mexico State. And I'm looking for the ouch there.